Hello, this is Henry with A-STEM Tutoring. You can find my website at a-stem-tutoring.com. Today we'll talk about how to find the first derivative of a simple function. So from basic calculus here, if you have a function, a curve, suppose, and you take a tangent line to that function. Let's draw the curve here. So it touches the tangent line only at one point, x, comma, f of x. The first derivative of that at that point, f prime of x, equals the slope of this line that I just drew here. So how do we find that? Well, let's see. Suppose f of x equals 2x squared. To find the first derivative, f prime of x, take the exponent, multiply it out as a coefficient. 2 times 2 is 4. Then subtract 1 from the current exponent. 2 minus 1 is 1. And that becomes a new exponent. 4x to the first power, which is simply 4x. We can apply this to linear combinations of other functions similar to f of x. For example, suppose we have g of x equals 4x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2x plus 7. We can apply this methodology we apply to f of x to each of these individual terms and then sum them up. So g prime of x equals 3 times 4 is 12. 3 minus 1 is 2. So now we have 12x squared. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have x to the first power, which is just x. There's an invisible 1 here as the exponent. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. And x to 0 is merely 1. So this derivative just becomes a simple 2. Now what about the 7 here? Well, suppose we have a function h of x equals 7. That would be a horizontal line crossing at y equal to 7. The slope of that would be 0 because there is no rise for any run. So this term drops out. So remember, the derivative of a constant will always be 0. So finally we have g prime of x equals 12x squared plus 6x plus 2. And now you know how to find the first derivative of a simple function. There are more complicated functions you will learn later, but this is a good introduction. If you'd like to learn more, if you'd like to try some private tutoring, the first 1-hour lesson is free for all new students. And since you watched all the way to the end of this video, in your initial email or text message to me, if you mention the code FREE book, then at our first meeting, I will give you a free copy of my book, Smart Suggestions for Student Success. I wrote this book in an effort to pass wisdom and advice on to the younger generation to help high school and college students prepare to be successful in school, work, and in life. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.